is Valley News Live at 4.
Leaves are flying and trash cans are being found houses down the road. Today's certainly not a good day to spend a lot of time on your hair. The wind is making it hard for anything to stay in place. These high winds have also forced the city to shut down the Fargo landfill because the garbage from the trucks would just litter the community. That landfill is expected to open back up tomorrow morning. But joining us right now is Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson to give us an idea of what's next. Hutch?
Well, wind is certainly what's next. Gusts have gone over 40 miles per hour as forecast yesterday. Where you see the dark orange colors where the wind was strongest, these are peak gusts today. 46 miles per hour in Fargo, Grand Forks 43 miles per hour. The trees in central Minnesota slowing down some of that wind, but your windiest conditions are on their way. For our western counties, the wind is starting to taper off, just a pinch. So take a gander at what's going on. High clouds building in from the west as we look in on the Home of Economy location out to the north. Now, first and foremost, current wind gusts 44 miles per hour in Fargo, 36 miles per hour from the south and east in the Grand Forks area. Notice wind is starting to taper off out to the west. That's a sign with the strongest winds shifting east. Now, we have temperatures in the 50s in the valley. It's 57 up in Hallock, 40s in central North Dakota, but that's where the rain starting to set up. We do have a chance of some showers tonight in some areas, but in Fargo you can expect the wind to taper off as we go through the evening. The clouds build in. We've issued a first alert weather day for Halloween. We'll have details on that and some of the other weather challenges we have this week coming up here in a few moments.
All right. Thanks so much, Hutch.
Yes.
Many of you have reached out to our whistleblower hotline asking why it's costing you more this year to heat your home. We did some digging for you, and this is what we received from Xcel Energy. The company says in July, the natural gas cost adjustment started in North Dakota, allowing Xcel to recover some of the costs they were impacted with during the winter weather conditions that ripped through Texas last year. For natural gas customers, the average monthly bill could go up anywhere from $6 to $34, depending on your usage. The temporary rate adjustment will end September 31st, 2022. Minnesota State Patrol has had their hands full when it comes to speeders on I-94 near Alexandria. Troopers say in the last couple days they stopped and cited one driver for going 128 miles per hour in a 70 mile per hour zone, and it doesn't stop there. Another driver was clocked going 116, another at 102. Troopers are urging everyone to slow down, adding that it could save a life. New information into the police report into the deadly shooting on the set of an Alec Baldwin movie in New Mexico. According to some experts, if the police report is correct, they suggest rules were not being followed. They say the armorer of the production crew, not the assistant director, should have cleared the gun before it was used. Court documents say the assistant director of that film was fired from a movie in 2019 after a gun unexpectedly went off on that set. A shooting at Boise, Idaho's largest shopping mall killed 2 people and sent shoppers into a panic. 4 people were hurt yesterday, including one of the officers who confronted the gunman. So far, authorities are not talking about the shooter in custody or a possible motive. The Gun Violence Archive says it was the 585th mass shooting in America this year. Fargo police have released their crime stats for last month, showing several crimes are up. Simple assaults are up from 177 cases reported in August to 195. Calls for shoplifting and car thefts also saw an increase overall. 312 people were arrested in Fargo last month. That's compared to 299 in August. 2 people are in jail and 2 others are hurt following an assault in Bemidji. Gunshots were reported just after 11 last night in the 1700 block of Irvine Avenue Northwest. Officers noticed a vehicle leaving the area, so they stopped it and found 4 people inside. They too said they had been assaulted with a handsaw after an argument. One person is being treated at a Bemidji hospital. The other had to be flown to a trauma center in Fargo. David White was arrested and charged with second-degree assault. Jared Westbrook was arrested on a felony outstanding warrant. Police in Bemidji are also warning people to lock up as they continue to investigate a number of thefts in the city. Police say they've arrested and charged some people, but many are allowed bail while the case proceeds, leaving them free to commit more crimes. Recent reports include people checking door handles on homes and vehicles and stealing from vehicles, garages, outbuildings, and mailboxes. Officers say to lock up and report suspicious activity right away. Executives from YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat were grilled by senators about what they're doing to keep children safe online. As Skylar Henry reports, the hearing followed testimony from a former Facebook data scientist who says Instagram's photo sharing service appears to seriously harm teens.
In a Senate Commerce Subcommittee hearing, Utah Senator Mike Lee challenged Snapchat executive Jennifer Stout. His staff created an account for a 15-year-old with no preferences and says what showed up on the social media app was wildly inappropriate for a child.
Tips on, quote, why you shouldn't go to bars alone, notices for video games that are rated for ages 17 and up, and articles about porn stars.
I am unfamiliar, and I've taken notes about what you have said that your account surfaced.
Stout joined executives from YouTube and TikTok, answering questions about how their apps are looking out for children on issues from privacy to safety.
He was suffering from dental pain.
Senator Amy Klobuchar shared the story of 19-year-old Devin Noring of Minnesota, who died after taking fentanyl-laced Percocet that he bought on Snapchat.
We have deployed proactive detection measures to get in ahead of what the drug dealers are doing. They are constantly evading our tactics.
I think there's other ways to do this too, as creating liability when this happens. So maybe that'll make you work even faster so we don't lose another kid.
Earlier this month, one Facebook whistleblower told lawmakers the company prioritized profit over user safety, even going as far as generating algorithms potentially exposing children to dangerous content. Frances Haugen, the former Facebook employee who sounded the alarm, testified before a UK Parliament Joint Committee Monday.
Facebook's own research says now the bullying follows children home. It goes into their bedrooms.
Lawmakers also expressed concerns that TikTok is tied to China's communist government, allegations the app's parent company, ByteDance, denies.
If it were not accurate, you would answer the questions, and you have dodged the questions more than any witness I have seen in my 9 years serving in the Senate.
The company says it stores all of TikTok's U.S. data in the United States and has recently tightened its privacy practices for children. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
There are at least 2 bills senators are working on to protect U.S. children. One would make it illegal for social media companies to track a young user's data. The other would make social media companies legally responsible if a child is exploited on an app. Starting today, the North Dakota Department of Health is turning off comments and replies on posts on its Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. The department is trying to curtail the spread of misinformation being attached to their social media posts. The policy applies to all posts, not a specific topic. Private messages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram will remain open and be monitored daily. Just weeks before the hectic holiday travel rush, the U.S. will roll out new guidelines impacting anyone entering the country. Starting November 8th, unvaccinated U.S. citizens and long-term residents will have to present a negative COVID test taken 1 day before re-entering the country. Fully vaccinated Americans will still have a 3-day window for COVID-19 testing. Borders are opening back up for travelers from dozens of countries, but nearly all will have to be vaccinated. Requirements include proof of vaccination, an FDA or WHO approved vaccine given before leaving their home country, and a negative COVID test taken within 72 hours of coming to the U.S. The burden of verifying all this is on the airlines, which could lead to backups with holiday travel. An FDA advisory panel carefully debated and agreed to recommend Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for younger children. Final approval from the CDC could come as early as next week. Deborah Alfarone has more from the White House, which is prepared to get these shots out to as many as 28 million American children.
An expert panel voted to recommend the FDA grant emergency use authorization of Pfizer's COVID vaccine for kids ages 5 to 11.
Out of 18 voting members, 17 voted yes, and we had 1 abstain.
Pfizer says its 2-shot low-dose vaccine is 90.7% effective in that age group. An FDA official told the panel young children have not been spared from illness and hospitalization from COVID.
And there have also been close to 100 deaths, making it one of the top 10 causes of death in this age range during this time.
The committee heard from those advocating for vaccine authorization.
We can protect our school-age children immediately and further shield them from short and long-term physical and mental health consequences.
and from those concerned about possible side effects of the vaccine, including myocarditis, a rare heart condition.
Please do not assume that this vaccine is safe in our children until all data, including long-term data, has been carefully evaluated.
The White House says it has secured enough doses to vaccinate every eligible child, and that those doses will be going out to pharmacies and pediatricians' offices as soon as the decision is finalized. Moderna says it will soon seek approval for its low-dose pediatric vaccine. Moderna says its vaccine is safe and effective for kids ages 6 to 11. The study of more than 4,700 kids showed the vaccine creates a strong immune response. The majority of adverse effects were mild to moderate, such as fatigue, headache, and fever. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
The FDA is still reviewing Moderna's data for kids ages 12 to 17. The Pfizer vaccine is already approved for teens in that age group. COVID-19 booster shots are now available at Altru and Grand Forks. They have Moderna, Pfizer, and the Johnson & Johnson doses. A single booster dose of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine can be administered 6 months after completion of the primary series. You can get the Johnson & Johnson booster 2 months after the initial dose. Boosters are available at primary care clinics or by request at upcoming flu shot clinics. To schedule your booster dose, call the nurse advice line there at the number on your screen. It's the season of pumpkins, but they're a little pricier this year. We'll explain why a little later here at 4.
And we have some changes that are going to take place tonight. The wind will be exiting, that's the good news, but we do have a wet day of weather ahead on Wednesday, and then we're watching Halloween. Yep, it is now a first alert weather day. We'll have details on why you will have to bundle up.